Hey, welcome to day 7. It is day 7 of my 100-day million meter challenge, where I am going to walk, ruck, jog, or row 1,000,000 meters in 100 days. And so I thought I would start off this video with a super quick recap of days 1 through 4, which you've already got 2 videos on. But so day 1 through 3, I walked 10K every day, and actually on day 1, I took a wrong turn. And so I actually went 10,800 meters on day 1. At the end of day 3, I had 30,800. And then the problem with that is that I developed a blister on the bottom of my foot. And I knew that there was no way that I could walk another 10K without turning that blister into something that would literally stop me from doing this. Hey, so plan B is cool because plan B is to get on a rower instead. I have access to a gym that has a beautiful Concept 2 rower. So I walked 2K to the gym. I then rode a 6K, and then I walked back 2K. So that was 10K total for the day. And as you saw in the day 4 video, that was awful. It was awful. I had never, ever rode more than a 2K, and there I am showing up to do a 6K. And it was hard. It was hard. So that's day 1 through 4. There's 2 videos on that. If you haven't seen those yet, a lot of information about this 1,000,000 meter challenge and what's going on with that and the reason why I'm doing it and everything like that. So check out those videos. Okay, so I left day 4 with the question, how sore am I going to be tomorrow? The good news is I wasn't sore at all. I expected to be sore after doing a 6K, after having never done a 6K, but 2, my normal rowing activity is to do a 500 meter, which is about 2 minutes before I start my workouts. Literally, that was my foundation. And that on day 5 created a new issue that I'll share with you in just a second here. So let me tell you about day 5. I woke up day 5 and I was like, man, my foot feels good. But a lot of experience says I need one more day off. So I repeated day 4 and I walked the 2K to the gym. I did a 6K row, and then I walked the 2K back home. So I got my 10K in. What came up from that is, again, my foundation was not good enough at all for doing 2 6K rows in a row. 2 6K rows in a row. All right, so here's where I'm at right now. The good news is I got 3 minutes faster on day 5 when I did that 6K again. And it didn't feel quite as hard. It was still really tough, but it didn't feel quite as hard. But I ended up with some left shoulder AC pain. And that's simply from doing too much, too fast on a shoulder joint that wasn't ready for that. So AC stands for acromioclavicular. Okay, the acromion process of the scapula. That's where it attaches with the clavicle. That's the AC joint. And basically, to make this really simple, the repetitive over and over and over and over again, 6K, 2 days in a row, caused some inflammation there of the tendons and ligaments in that joint. I felt that at the end of day 5. Yesterday was day 6. And I still noticed it was there, but it was less. And then today, honestly, thankfully, today's day 7. If I force move it, I can tell that there's something there. But it wasn't something so bad that it's going to be a long-term issue. I explain all that because I want to re-emphasize, do not do what I'm doing. Do not try a 100-day, 1,000,000 meter challenge if you haven't put in the foundation work necessary to do it without injury. And I'll tell you right now, even though I knew that I had never done a 6K row before and that my foundation was 500 meters as a warm-up for my workouts, what I did know was that I do resistance training nearly every day. And so that means I knew that my shoulder is healthy, knows how to go through a full range of motion with resistance. So I felt comfortable doing the 6K row because of that. If you're someone by chance watching this who hasn't done any rowing or hasn't in a long time, or you haven't been doing full range of motion resistance training for a while, there's just no way that you should hop on a rower and try to do a 6K or a 5K or even a 4K. That's not gonna go well. So again, I just want to emphasize, don't do a 100-day million meter challenge when you aren't ready. And that's why in every video, I'll have in the description below about how you can do, you know, the normal JT's million meter challenge, which is to walk, jog, ruck, or row 1,000,000 meters in a year, in 365 days or less, not 100. So that's the foundation that I had already laid. That's why I felt comfortable attempting this. And again, if you haven't seen video 1 yet, there's a lot more details there about why I'm doing this and what I'm training for and what's going on here. So anyway, hey, that takes care of days 1 through 5. Now let's talk about day 6, day 7, and what is coming up next week and why I'll be living in a yurt. All right, so day 6, day 7, and the yurt. Here we go. Day 6, yesterday, woke up, foot felt amazing. The blisters clearly healed, clearly ready to go again. So socked up, shoed up, and did another 10K. And yesterday was pretty amazing. And I'll tell you why. Super fast. Look what's happening right here. Yes. My amazing wife is with me yesterday and today. So super excited about that. It's been awesome. She supports me. Look, we could do a whole separate like video on how much she supports me. So this has been amazing to have her with me the last 2 days. But anyway, so yesterday we walked, we did the 10K. It was cold yesterday morning. When we left, it was 37 degrees. It was a little bit windy for the first, I don't know, about 10 minutes. And I'll admit there was a little bit of concern about, was that wind gonna stay with us the whole time? Was it gonna stay 37 degrees? My wife gets cold pretty easily. And I was like, oh, I don't want this first 10K for her to be miserable. So thankfully, good news, that didn't happen. Everything was fine. We had an amazing walk. It warmed up, we warmed up. Our layers were perfect. It was good. Hey, good morning, y'all. Anyway, we just, not sure what else to say about yesterday. Just a beautiful 10K in gorgeous Avon, Colorado, surrounded by mountains. Some of the aspens are just beginning to change. So very sparsely, very periodically, you'll see a yellowish aspen. And so that's super exciting because literally one of my favorite sights in nature is to see a huge aspen grove in full yellow on the side of a mountain. It's just stunning. So really looking forward to that. All right, so today's day 7, another beautiful day. We're doing our 10K. It's going smoothly. So what that means is at the end of my first full week, first full 7 days, I'll have just over 71,000 meters. That's exciting. Super good start. I feel great. Today feels great. I know my blister's gone. I literally know from this point forward that I'll be able to do all of my 10Ks without any feet concerns, and that's exciting. You know, I mentioned my AC joint on my left shoulder. Again, just based on how today feels, I already know that's not gonna be an issue as I periodically choose to do a 6K row just to let my legs rest a little bit. Just kind of thinking out loud right now, I may purposefully 1 or 2 days a week, but not back to back, not back to back, go do that row because it feels really good to work that hard and accomplish something. Obviously, holy cow, obviously that could be like its own video, right? That concept of working really hard to accomplish something. And I feel good after I've done the 6K. And I know it gives my legs a little bit of a non-weight bearing break. Obviously the legs are still being used in the row, but it's not full weight bearing. So there's some benefit there as well. So anyway, like I said, that was me just kind of thinking out loud about my thought process related to, hey, I did the row originally to take care of my feet, but in that process, I'm learning how good that is mentally as well. And then like I mentioned about rowing, it's so good to open up the posture and open up the chest and oppose that forward that we're always in. Now, the yurt. The yurt. I'm sure some of you heard that and you're like, what? So here's the deal. Next week, I'm going to a 4-day mastermind put on by Paul and Melissa Pruitt. And I'm just gonna go spend 4 days with like ridiculously amazing people. As you know, everything I do is about adventure. Seeking contrast from my norm, because that's where growth occurs. That's where growth happens. I was looking things up for this conference and I saw this opportunity to stay in a yurt. So I'm spending 4 nights in a yurt and I'm super pumped about it. I am still going to walk every day next week, even during this mastermind conference. I'll save that for the next video, because in that video, I'm going to explain how I handled that, the decisions I made. All right, on the way back down. So I've mentioned this before, but we just got done with the turnaround spot, which is just over 8,100 feet. And that got me to thinking, I'm going to Delaware next week. While I haven't looked this up yet, I'm gonna strongly assume that where I am in Delaware is like less than 500 feet above sea level. So I just turned around at 8,100 feet. And I've spent 7 days working out between 7,400 and 8,100 feet. From experience, right? Because I've summited Kilimanjaro twice. From experience, like, I'm actually really excited about next week because I'm going to feel superhuman. One of the coolest things about summiting Kilimanjaro and then coming back is that for about 10 days, because of the acclimatization physiologically with the extra red blood cells being produced and everything, you just feel like, no joke, like a superhuman. You can go out and like crush workouts. They just feel like half the effort. I'm smiling because I'm kind of excited about how I already know I'm going to feel next week. But with that, there's some challenges for next week. The biggest one for me is I love being with people. And the people that I'm going to be with are amazing, world-class people. I'm not going to want, at an emotional level, to not spend time with them. And so, full transparency, like, that's gonna be one of my challenges next week. Another hurdle that I'll have to take care of is figuring out what my route is gonna be. You know, that's easy to do when I'm at a home base and I know what that area is like, and I can open up Google Maps like I mentioned in the first video and you know, pick a spot, make it 3.1 miles away, right? Make it a 5K away, so I've got to go there 5K, back 5K for a total of 10K. Like, that's easy to do in a home base because you know the area. But in this case, I won't know the area. I've got to figure out how to handle that. So, but that's an easy fix, right? But again, these are just some of the things that I think about, coming up with plan Bs over and over and over and over again, because it's not always a straight path. So I think that is going to be it for this video. I'm excited to bring you video from the yurt, bring you video from Delaware, answer some of these questions and challenges that I've got and how I'm going to handle them. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be awesome, and don't try this at home. Bye now.
You definitely don't need twisted ankles.